Great. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our final day, our final workshop. And today we're all about you. So we really want to highlight you and your achievements, the things that you've done as part of this project. And so it's good to see you. We've had some real fun watching, looking, reading all of your submissions. And we've learned a few things as well, which is really exciting. So it's really good. If, of course, you see the screen that's up here, feel free to nominate a keyboard captain, somebody that can type in the comments and share anything that needs to be shared in the chat. And of course, nominate a spokesperson perhaps for the project. So what we'll do is we'll go through the projects and put them up on the screen. And we're hoping that somebody from your school or somebody from your group, however it works out, can talk a little bit, maybe a couple sentences about your project. You feel okay about that, everybody? It's only a few people watching. It's good. Well, we're excited. So hello and thank you for joining us. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and get started. So today is really just the final. It's our final day. So we're sharing our final project. So we've had two, if not three, workshops before this, and we've talked about a lot, haven't we, Ken? I feel like we've covered it, and we still have so much more that we could talk about, and maybe you can too, because of all the things you might have learned in this project. When we got started, we talked really about viral videos. You'll recall that from the beginning. We love seeing some of these viral videos that people have created in an attempt to get views, really, and potentially some of those, something as simple as chasing a snowboarder, a bear chasing a snowboarder, or it could even be something even more trickery. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. So we spent time talking about that. You'll remember we even talked about manipulated imagery. Yeah, that's right. A shark chasing a swimmer. We talked about manipulated imagery. Remember the picture I lied about the National Geographic folks and the bear that was chasing them. We've talked about fake news and misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So that was a very interesting topic. We saw a lot of folks create their final project around misinformation. So it really must have resonated with you. We also, I can't help but laugh. We also talked about fake accounts and non-human marketing. Do you remember that stuff? These fake accounts and these non-human marketing. I should have brought it up, Ken. Do you remember? I don't know if I showed you. There was an image of one of those non-human accounts that they just took off the air. So they actually removed the account because the character, the fake character, said something that was hurtful to people, somebody's community. So they removed it. Isn't that interesting? That a fake account, like a robot, made hurt people. So they took it off the internet. We even got into some social media clickbaiting. We see some of your final projects show some of that clickbaiting. We saw some, you're learning, I hope, to recognize clickbait. What is it when people show you something to get you to read it or even share it that may or may not be correct information? One of the things that I think we might still be exploring is the idea of community reading experience. We talked about the community reading experience, the idea that if people we know like something, that maybe we feel like we should like it. And if people we know don't like it, we think we should not like it as well. And that's where misinformation is easily spread, isn't it? And then I think probably the last time we met, we really focused on solutions for stopping the spread of fake news. Did we cover enough? Was there enough? Do we need more? Ken, do we need to tell them more? Well, we'll share a little bit about at the end of this call today what Ken and I do to help support each other in this process. what do we do as friends and colleagues to help continue learning about social media and about the information that we see on the internet? I guess my question is, maybe if you show me your thumbs up, do you have you started seeing things online differently? Have you noticed things online now that you're, when you're going through TikTok or going through, is there anything that is anybody seeing some of the things we're talking about? Just give me a thumbs up if you see anything. Yeah, there's a few thumbs. Some of you are seeing things online already, like fake news or fake accounts or clickbait. Yeah, Sue House has definitely seen that. Oh yeah, yeah, good. So Gaythra, right? That's right. It's Gaythri. She's sharing it a message that they got on WhatsApp. Being a cure for cancer. Yeah, that really does appeal to a lot of people because a lot of people are impacted by cancer, aren't they? And that when we see those, we're inclined or we think we should click on it because we want that solution. We want to believe it's true. Yeah. Wait, when you take it to the pineapple and hot water, that's where I go, wait, what? Oh, if it was only true. If it was only true. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, Ken is saying once you see it, you'll have much more clarity and start seeing these things all the time. It's so true. Yeah, good. Anybody else want to share things that they're seeing online or something they've noticed since they've started the course that they didn't really think about before? You know what I see? I don't know if I shared this with you, Ken. The use of breaking news. People use breaking news a lot. Even they're not even a news source. They're just like some guy down the street is tweeting breaking news. And it's like, there's a kangaroo in my yard. And everybody wants to use breaking news. It's clickbait, right? Look at me. I'm part of the, I know things. Anybody else want to share? Okay. All right. I'm inclined to move forward. And if anybody wants to share something. Okay. So I don't know why I didn't show you this before. In case you're joining us for the first time, of course, my name's Jim. And sorry, I keep hitting that button. And Ken is there. If you see Ken Shelton, he's in there. Ken is joining us from the United States of America. And even though I sound like I live in America, I don't. I'm an American who lives in Australia. So I'm just down here in Melbourne. Somebody asked me on day one what my TikTok name account was, and I found it. I may have just created it. I don't share anything yet. I don't have the courage. I don't have the courage to share on TikTok. I do feel like I might be too old to share on TikTok. I'm just going to say that out loud. I just feel like TikTok won't accept the gray hair in my beard. That's all. I might be just shaming myself, but that's it. Okay. But Ken is there. Ken, I don't know, Ken. Yeah, I didn't see your TikTok on here, Ken. I know you're on TikTok as well. Ken looks younger than me, so there's that. But he is older. I just want to put that out there. Ken is older than I am. Okay, let's talk about the clubs. Your final project for the digital clubs is the Digital Clubs Gallery, and I'm going to put that up on the screen here. And let's share. I can share. Nicole, just give me a thumbs up. I can share this into the chat, right? I can share this link. Good.
Yeah.
So we're so grateful to Nicole and Sophie and the team for taking all of your submissions and putting them into this website. And so we have an opportunity to take a look at this later, another time, whenever you want. Excuse me. And whenever you want, and you can take a look at some of these projects more closely. But today, what we want to be able to do is spend the next, I don't know, some time now to share with you this gallery. Thanks. Nicole put the correct link in there, I think is what happened. we're going to share with you this gallery, and then we'll talk about some of these projects. And what we're hoping for you to do is have the courage to turn on your microphone, or in the chat, share some information about the project. And these are the things we would like to hear. One, we want to know why you picked that topic. Why did you pick that topic? What was important about that topic? And then we want you to tell us why you chose to do it in a PowerPoint, or in Publisher, or in a video, or on TikTok, or or WhatsApp. We want to know why you chose to do your project in that way, or in that format. Does that make sense? So maybe we'll just add that to the chat. We're just looking for you to just give us an idea. Of course, introduce yourself. So I'll just write it in here. Introduce yourself, and then talk about your project, like why you chose that topic, and then why you chose to do your project in that way, like PowerPoint, okay, or video, something like that. I'll just put that in the chat just to help remind us what we're looking for. All right, so in your head, you're going to be thinking, how do I say this? How do I describe this? So, of course, we're going to go with Gumini Secondary School first, because you're right there at the top. You're right there on the left. I'm just going to pump it up. I'm going to bump it up into the big screen. And here is our first project. So this looks like it was a PowerPoint of some sort. We've just made it into this PDF so we can see it differently. But anybody from Gumini want to talk about your project?
We did have Betty here, but I can't actually see. Maybe they've dropped out.
Okay. Let's maybe we should come back to if Betty comes back.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we'll skip this one for now, and then we'll come back to it. So if she comes in, maybe I'm just going to change my screen's layout here so I can see, just in case she comes back in. There we go. All right, let me come back to this one. I'm going to close this one out. How about is it PASM National School of Excellence? Here we go. The Be Social Media Savvy Project.
Yeah, so that's Meslin. Are you able to unmute and show your video and just talk through your presentation? Or, sorry, your campaign?
Meslin, can you hear us okay? We hear you.
Right. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
We have afternoon lessons and the students are in class, so maybe I would talk on behalf of them.
Okay.
Okay. The students chose 3 social media platforms. Basically, their presentation it's a manual that they would like to bring across to their friends on how to or correct use of the 3 social media platforms that they choose. Basically, because most of the times when we are using the social media platforms, we are not careful with what we see, what we decided to present, that may lead to misinformation and disinformation and all these tough. So these students decided to just do a manual guide for the users. The safety measures.
Yeah, thank you. We're showing it here on the screen now. It's really great. Look, lots of folks involved. Thank you very much for this. We love it because we love that you're using all three. The TikTok, we're talking about all three: TikTok, Facebook, and WhatsApp. There was something on here that I thought was really a great message. Right? It was number 3, I think. Maybe it was in this one. Number 3, I think it was avoid reacting to unknown messages so as to maintain privacy. I think it was here. Yeah, in Facebook. I thought that was a really interesting one because we know that people use the word I'm looking for is provocations to get you to gain information about you. They say something, a message, and they get you to respond to it. And I like that you said that here. Avoid reacting to unknown messages so as to maintain privacy. We know that people do that to get you to find out information about you. And there's then of course there was another one that talked about don't reshare content that promotes inaccurate information. Of course, don't share, don't continue sharing, things that aren't true. That's right. Yeah, it's good. It's a good project. Thank you very much for your sharing.
Thank you.
Really good. So that you'll find that if you come to the website, you'll see that's up here in the top right-hand corner. And if you go in and you'll see these the projects, you can scroll through them here. But if you click on that little box that says pop out up in the top in the corner, that will open up the project in another window, and then you can take a look at all these yourself at another time if you feel like it. All right, let's move on to so we go. How about Caravat National School of Excellence? And that Isabel, are you in here?
So what is tech savvy and why do we need to be tech savvy? We need to be tech savvy because we're living in a digital era. Everything is computerized and not everything we see on the internet is true. Some of it, some are lies. The internet can also be a global hoax. For example, we like taking into our concept as students, we often take tutorials from the internet and we have to be sure that we are taking them from the right people. For example, you could be taking the formulas or whatever research like they were done by primary school students and put into the internet. So that is one area where we need to be aware. And the other thing is we need to be tech savvy because we will educate our peers, our parents or people back at home that everything is not always true. Everything is on the internet is not always true, and is some of the things are just lies.
Oh, yeah, I love it. You're getting a round of applause. Good work. Good work. I love it. Great. We'll just give you another opportunity to talk about your project if that's possible. We'll give you a minute. I tell you what I would like to do is just share with you that I used to be a film and television teacher, and so I really love seeing video. It's always real fun, and I really think that having that student talk about those things so beautifully and articulately it was really great to hear that the message from a student point of view. I think when we do that, it makes it more believable because we're actually seeing a person on camera talking about it, and that's me being a little bit biased, but it's definitely a great way to get other students to listen. Students listen to other students, so really great job with that. I also think that there is the moment. Let's see if I can track it down. I think in here when we, here that when I thought it was very creative to have people holding signs with your tips. I just think it's such a great way to do that. It reminds me. It's a film teacher. It reminds me of a film called Don't Look Back with a documentary many years ago that used that same sort of thing with Bob Dylan. Would take and show slides of the messages that he was trying to say. So I thought it was such a great idea. So anyways, it's as a film teacher, I feel like I love that sort of thing. So really good work. Yeah. Is there any other chance? Are they still on? Maybe they dropped off. Okay, I don't see them on there anymore. But anyways, it's really great. Thanks for everyone for from the school. Okay, Isabel's back. Give her just a second. All right, we see you're back, Isabel. Did you think you might be able to share about your project before we move on? I see you're typing. Ken, do you know what I'm talking about with that that "Don't Look Back" reference? It's with Bob Dylan. Do you remember what I'm talking? Remember, it was in a video that he did, a movie that he made.
Actually, I don't.
I might be dating myself.
I want to say that I do recall at some point we talked about it with one of our film and video workshops, but I don't. You might have shown it, but I'm not thinking of it at the moment.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't worry. I might just look it up while we're hoping that Isabel might be able to share about that project. Let's see, I have it here. It's I'm just going to drop this in, and it's just
The thing that's different about
give me a moment to get rid of this commercial. This is what I was thinking of. Here, I'll share it. I'll share this with you. It might be a little old now that I think about it. But it's this Bob Dylan. This is a very famous musician, Bob Dylan, doing the same sort of thing that reminded me of your video. See what I mean? I don't know why. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move forward. If you're able to share about your video into the chat, that would be great. We'd love to hear why you chose that topic, and then, of course, why you decided to make this into a video. It looks like it was done in a slide presentation, but you actually exported it out as a video, which I think is just really just such a great idea and such just a powerful way of presenting that. All right. Let's come back into this, into our project gallery and take a look at some other features here. The next one that we're going to be talking about is the Team Wawin National School of Excellence. I think it's Ludi's here. Is there a chance to talk about it? About that, but this particular project, it was a WhatsApp campaign. So this school created a WhatsApp campaign around social media and awareness. So they created this WhatsApp campaign for girls on a notice board. That's submitted by Sylvia, Joseph, and Alstonia. All right. Lydia, do you think you have a chance to chat about it, or drop it into the chat? Any comments or about why you chose this particular topic to talk about in WhatsApp? And then, of course, why did you decide to choose WhatsApp as the way to deliver this project? One of the things we saw here is we saw Sylvia post into a WhatsApp channel just around making sure that the other girls or ladies that were involved in that chat became more aware about some of the things, that the messages that they see on TikTok or on Instagram. And it's really interesting. So they gave examples here. So one of them, of course, is send me your bank account details for a random giveaway. Woo! Don't do that. Don't do that. So it's a good suggestion to watch out for fake messages and fake accounts. There was another one in here really talking about clickbait, or something that's true or fake. And one of these videos here is about basically the video title is that a girl wakes up from the dead and then knows secrets that she shouldn't know, so very clickbait-esque, definitely something that makes you want to maybe go, I wonder how true that might be. And then the last thing that they shared was a really interesting video about influencers who look nothing like their photos, and in their project, in their WhatsApp post, they put the links to the video so other folks could watch it. And I love this comment here. This is the major reason why teenagers lose their self-esteem. They get body shamed for being lean and is too skinny, and being thick is too fat, and wearing makeup that it's really, really interesting commentary about women and the way women are portrayed on social media by influencers. And I really I was able to watch that video. It's pretty long, and it's pretty really interesting to talk about, because the video itself almost feels like clickbait, but when you actually get into it, it really showcases some great examples of the trickery and body shaming that are so prevalent on social media. So what a great campaign to put out on using using WhatsApp as a way to communicate your project. So I was really impressed by that, a very original way to do that. Really, really good work. Great example out there. And thanks for putting that description here in this in the document that you shared with us. All right, I'll give you a chance to unmute still if there's still an opportunity to talk about that. I can really see this. What a great way to take your projects that you've already made and to get them seen by your colleagues. Think about, you could maybe even take that PowerPoint or the document that you made and put that on Facebook, or put that on into a WhatsApp group, and be able to share that with others so that they can also benefit from the things that you've learned. Traditionally we would just hang that on the wall, or we would just email it to our friends. But now there's so many other ways of communicating the things that you've learned to help other people. All right. Well, good work on that. We'll go ahead and keep moving. And if at any time you have anything you want to share, feel free to drop it in. And thank you, Isabel. Is just putting into the chat. Team Caravat is picked a more general topic. So we're going back to the video that we just saw a moment ago, related to how students use the internet to do their research, to be aware that not all information on the internet is true. Oh, so good. So good. Thank you for that. Such a great choice to use video, a video to tell that story. And then, of course, those other slides to be able to share as well. Okay. All right, Team Wawin, or Ludi, I think you still have a chance. Just feel free to drop it into the chat, and we can come back to it in any moment, anytime, as soon as you're able to post about that. I think next up is Team Sagari. That's right, at Team Sagari. They've put together 2 projects for us to take a look at. We'll go ahead and start with this first one. I'll go ahead and open it up, and it's a slideshow on how to spot fake news. Anybody from Team Sagari that's able to unmute and share about that? Yes, Teddy, feel free to unmute if you're able. Hi, Team Sagari. We can hear you.
Hi. So we created our project. It's mainly based on a term we found that is very helpful, and that it's not a study guide, the project study guide. It's community reading experience. So like the more likes and comments you see a post receives, like we tend to trust the post. We say that it's trustworthy. So the more dislikes it receives, we say that it's not trustworthy. We don't like that video. We tend to believe that what our friends tell us or what we see that our circle of friends, they like on social media, we believe it. So our topic is how to spot fake news. So the prep test is it's one of the methods that you use to fake spot news. It's also on the student guide. So we decided to use the prep test as a method. So what we did is we put it in presentations to help our friends, help our peers to be media wise and how to spot fake news. So yeah, the prep test is what we used. So we created we created a brochure and a PowerPoint presentation. So my friend is gonna talk about what we created.
Hello. So why we use the PowerPoint and the brochure? Actually, our partners, the boys, they did the brochure, and the girls, we did the PowerPoint. So why we choose these 2 set of different presentation is because for the PowerPoint, we see that it's easy to share with a group of people. In our case, students, and within a conference or workshop, attending a workshop, it's easy to share for them, and they can get what we're trying to bring. And for the brochure, we said that it's portable and it's brief, informative, and easy to share. Like we go give it to people that are around our areas to be digital. I mean media wise, yeah, like a media survey for them. So we see that the reason why we chose the topic to what's the topic again?
Spot fake news.
Spot fake news is because in Papua New Guinea, mostly like young teenagers, we tend to be easily influenced with what we see and what we hear. So we use this topic to tell our peers that to be media wise. And why we figure that why these people why the fake news spread is because those people who are doing that, like mostly they want to PNG people, PNG teenager, mostly they think they're interesting stuff. They want to get more likes, so they send. We figure that those interesting stuff, like mostly of them they're fake news and all that. So like we have to follow the steps to figure go and see if the person is really telling the truth and all that. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I love it. What a great presentation. Thank you very much. It's I really I printed it out. I printed out your flyer. I thought it was really good. And this is the kind of thing that you could leave at the office or in your classroom, and somebody could come by and they look at the cover, they look at the topic, and they can just take it with them, and then they're walking around and they could read your information. So very good when there's very low internet, and it's very good to keep around and you want to keep accessing again. So really good idea with the pamphlet. I love the idea of this pamphlet. So it was really easy to make. Really easy to print and fold up, and it makes it really easy to read as well. So thanks for that. I really, I thought is also the slideshow that you made. It was just such a great use and good. You really showed a good understanding of the terminology, you know, of the vocabulary that we learned. So that was really nice. And then there was something in here that I thought was kind of funny. You wrote, "Spot that fake news today." Right here it is. I just thought that was really good. For what it's worth, when I was a kid, this is Calvin and Hobbes. This tiger comes from you know it good. I had all the books when I was your age. It was really good. Which it's So I thought that was really interesting. And then in the flyer, I just made some notes. It's just a great example of what could be left in the office or in a classroom. And then you wrote in here, I think there was something, I just copied it down. I thought was a really good statement. It says the messages that you absorb can be corrupted, misinterpreted, and intentionally misleading you and also other people. That's why this brochure is dedicated to making an awareness of how to avoid misleading and corrupted information. Yeah, really just a really good idea to put the purpose of this flyer on the actual flyer. So really nice work. Good job. Ken is giving you a round of applause with it. Good work. Thank you. Really nice. And so, Team Gemini, I think is come back. It's feel free if you want to share back at some of the other what we shared a moment ago. Or actually, we didn't share it yet. But anyways, so thank you, Team Sagari. Really good work, and I appreciate it. And thank you for your presentation as well. All right. Let's come back. I think we skipped Team Gemini in the beginning. Yeah. Are you able to share Team Gemini? Betty, if you're there. Oh, hi, team. I was wanted to see if you had an opportunity to share about your presentation that you made about misinformation and disinformation. Is anybody there wanting to maybe talk about why you chose this topic, and then also why you chose to make it into a PowerPoint to show it? Anybody there want to do that? Want to talk about it?
Hi.
Hi.
We have problems with the audio, so I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
We choose the topic or issues on making online money, making online there. We have some issues that were faced, especially by the teachers in the school, where there's maybe it's a scam or we don't know, but on making money online on Bitcoin, and there's some people who are involved in the. We are not really sure whether it is true or not true, and they have been trying to make money online, and they didn't make money, but in fact they lost the money through trying to making money online. So because of that, we were thinking that it's vital. We are trying to inform other people that maybe if they want to make money online, they have to think twice. Otherwise, they lost their money or so. That's all.
Yes. What you gave us a couple really good examples in here of the videos that you're talking about. This video here I thought was really interesting because there's a few things in this video that give it away as maybe not being true. Sorry, there's an ad that's going to play here for a second, which, by the way, when you see ads like this pop up in front of the video, that also means that that person is now making money every time you watch it. So that's a good thing to point out, is that maybe the video itself isn't is reputable, but this is the video that we're talking about, one of the ones you talk about here. And what we notice is that this is not a real person, and it's a computer voice, so it's an artificial voice as well. So that goes to show us that potentially these aren't it's not a real program. And then one of the things I noticed in this video, you may not be able to hear it from where you are, is there's music. Let me see if I can play it.
Access to high converting pre-written ads copy.
And then at about 42 seconds, the music goes away. And there's no music until the end of the video. And when that happens, it typically says to us that it's like almost like a spelling error, right? When we see spelling errors in work, we go, oh, that may not be real. It may not be a quality source. So when we see mistakes like this in videos, like the music just stops for no reason, then we know that this person who made it isn't really a video producer. And so we immediately get a sense for that it may not be true. That's not always true. That's not always the case, right? Sometimes mistakes happen, but when we start looking at videos like this, we can start to guess that it's not real. Yeah, really interesting to me. So I'm glad that you shared that video. I had not seen that video before, and there's a few things about the video that you talk about not being true that I also agree with. I think you did a good job of pointing that out. Same thing with this other video. This video was like, you can make lots of money if you send us money. If you send me money, you'll make money. And then it's like, well, that person made lots of money from people, but you may not make money. So yeah, really good presentation and some good examples of how to be, what to look out for as far as a scammer is concerned. I'll also point out this video here. It literally says how to make money online in Papua New Guinea, but every picture in this video is American dollars. Now, I haven't been to PNG, but I can imagine that the use of American dollars might mean that that it may not be really for you. They just changed the title. So it's just interesting. So some things to definitely be careful of. That's right. Yeah. Ken is saying videos where people tell you that you can make $1 million when the person who makes the video doesn't have $1 million. Yeah, it's really true. Yeah, good work. Thanks, Team Dimini. Thanks for being able to talk about your project as well. Good work. All right, let's go back into the gallery and take a look at some other projects from people. All right, so next up is going to be Cherrybrook, and we know that Cherrybrook has a number of submissions that they were able to put forward, and I was wondering if Gayatri, is there anything that anybody maybe wants to speak first? Do you have some folks who can speak to this project today? For those of you at home, you're always you can always go to the website and take a look at the or in school, I should say. You're able to go in and take a look at these projects. All you have to do is go and click on that little button in the corner. It's called, this says pop up, and then we can go. Great. We would love to hear from any students from Cherrybrook Technology High School. Does anybody want to unmute or just put in the chat that you'd like to speak? I could pull up your project. Suhas, yes. Let me see if I can find yours quickly. I think it's down here. Suhas has a video here, so let me pull it up. And then Suhas, if you want to unmute, I'm just going to put the first. There we go. And feel free or put it in the chat if what you'd like to say about it.
Yeah, I'll speak.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Suhas.
Yeah.
If you want to
I thought you could play the video first. Sorry. So the reason I chose this campaign topic was, it was generally because on the first day, essentially on the first workshop, I essentially knew the fact that there was obviously fake news online, but I never knew that it was actually categorized into 3 different things, such as misinformation, malinformation, disinformation. And the reason I chose this campaign topics is also because I wanted to tell like a lot of my mates, because social media is essentially my entire life, or all my mates' entire life. I rely on social media for my friends to send me their assignments if I don't do homework, or for social media for my news feed every day. So I feel like it's important to know what part of social media is good and what part of social media is bad, so you can only get the good out of it. Because if you're reliant on something, you should know the pros and cons of it. And another thing is, well, the reason I chose videos is because I was essentially going to do a PowerPoint presentation first, but then I realized people tend to they don't like listening. They tend to watch more or like get it out of visual content. So I just decided to make a video, and plus this video, like the software was free, so I'm like, might as well just do it. And main key learnings I got from Digital Club was obviously misinformation, malinformation, disinformation, but along with the fact that I know now how to identify and like navigate myself through things. Yeah.
Oh, great! I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that to us. It's so interesting to hear how you're saying that social media is really where your life, right? And it's a smart idea to educate yourself on things that you're using every day. You're right. It's so true. Let's go ahead and play. All right, good work. I love it. That's Sophie's good work. Sophie has pointed out in the chat, and I really agree that music gave a sense of importance or urgency, and it was a little bit scary, the music, which I think really helps sell the message that pay attention. We're in a dangerous territory. By the way, I find that the violin really does that. Violins have always been used in movies to make things scary, right? And it's so good work on that. One of the things I loved, you had lots of great resources, and also I was curious about this hashtag, not knowing, no knowing. I looked it up on Twitter and on TikTok, and I couldn't really find much about it. But if you had a chance to ask, if you could just drop in the chat what if there's anything you can share about that hashtag. But yeah, really good work. I really appreciate it. So I'm seeing in the chat that we maybe know who's going to be going next. So is that you? It's a Moog, I think, right? Who? Sorry. I'm going to share this different window really quickly. All right. Does anybody want to share next from Team Cherrybrook? Team Cherrybrook, we're just giving you a chance to respond. We don't have too much more time, so we want you to hopefully be able to summon up that courage and unmute. All right, Christian, you can go. And I know where yours is, so just give me a second to find it here. Was there? I think it was this one right here, I think. Yep, Christian. Feel free to unmute, Christian. Oh, feel free. Oh, yeah, if you're unable to unmute, that's fine. Just put something in the chat, and we'll take a look at this infographic that you created. I would love to know what service or what or what you use to create this infographic. That would be really great to know. What program, or if you use Photoshop or something like that to create this. What I'll do is, if you don't mind, Christian, I'll just, while you're typing that, I'll just point out that this is a great infographic just around finding out information about government and politics. And I thought it was very interesting in here, because one of the things I know that during election times, finding accurate and correct information online can be very difficult. And what I'm seeing here, you sharing here, Christian, is that you're saying that a good way to learn about Australia or government and politics is to look at articles, books, and videos. And then you give us a description of why you think that is. And then down here, you gave us 2 resources that people could go to, either if you're from Australia or from outside of Australia, to understand about what's going on. One would be the australia.gov.au website, and the other is the abc.net, which is the Australian News Service. Really good. It looks, and what I love about it is this graphic. It's just appealing, right? The way that the text stands out can help us, and we can really jump in and look at each of these different topics really easily. It helps us really easily find it. Anything else that you want to share with us, Christian, about that? Sorry. Yeah, good design. So Christian's just dropped into the chat. Thank you. I created this infographic with Canvas. So Canvas we shared during the office hours. So canvas.com, or is it Canva? Canva.com. Sorry, you're right. He's written here Canva. And the reason I chose this topic was because fake information is often spread about the Australian government, and I'm trying to show my peers reliable sources for finding out information about the Australian government. I chose the format of an infographic as it is able to get the information across quickly and effectively to my peers, right? Big chunks. Infographics are great for just chunks of information. And it's and then effectively to my peers. Another reason was that people often read about information if it's short and quick. There you go. You just said it. So as we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Great. Love it. Really good work. Thank you, Christian, for sharing that. I think we have time for one more from Cherrybrook. Anybody else from Cherrybrook want to go? Good work on this. Some really interesting ones coming from Cherrybrook. Thank you for that. We saw another pamphlet from Cherrybrook. Ruhan has created a pamphlet. There was there's a really interesting PowerPoint that I'm just sort of scrolling on it right here. I love the template that was used for this PowerPoint. It's just really just the color choices for me. Really, I respond to these color choices really well, and the format and the text looked really good. There was a great one. I know, Mog, you're in here somewhere. I know you are. Just talking about Indian culture. Maybe if you don't mind, I'll share yours. It's a great graphic. I think this infographic style is really relevant. To me, not knowing much about Indian culture, it really fits the topic. And I also found it really the resource is really valuable. There was one resource in here that I wondered about, and I tried to look it up. It's from the CIA.gov. So CIA is the American Central Intelligence Agency. like spies. It's a spy network, but they have a very well-known thing called a fact book. And I thought it was interesting because when I click on that, that link to the fact book, and I'll share with you this website about India, there was a thing in here that I thought was interesting, and it was right here under disputes. The first word, you can't really see it very well, the first word in that description is not capitalized. And man, that is a red flag for me. It's a red flag for me. You know what I mean by that? What I mean by that is when I see punctuation and spelling errors in things, I start to question if it's real or not. And so I tried to do as much research as I could in the short time that I gave it around this CIA website. I hadn't really gone in and looked at it. I'd heard of it before. But when there's a punctuation error in a government website, I start to wonder if it's a real government website. Does that make sense? So it may not be true. It may be real. This may be a real website, but that's what happens in my head. Somebody who does this a lot, I start to go, there's a punctuation error, or there's a spelling error, and I start to question if it's real or not. And we should be doing that all the time, even if it's a real person, real website, real authentic. But sometimes when we see spelling errors, we should start to go, if they're making an error there, are they making an error in the content as well? So just something I wanted to point out. You know you're doing a good job in your project if the teacher is going in and starting to click and try to learn more, right? So it's such a great job. It's a really great looking presentation. I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate that you've chosen to talk about your own community. I'm assuming this is your community, your own community, to talk about and how help folks in Australia to understand maybe where you or your heritage comes from, your ancestors or your family comes from. Really, really good. Thank you for sharing that. Let me go back into here. There's lots of other great examples from Team Cherrybrook. I encourage you, please, to go through these if you have the time in your time at school to go through and take a look. Some really good ones. Yuma has a couple great websites or YouTube channels that are really good for reliable sources. There's a couple more great infographics about misinformation, truth in media. Like Amogs, there's another one here about the Filipino community, and then so really good. Cedric has done one about Australia and the use of social media. So really good stuff in here. And Akshanth, we've seen him on here, them on here a few times, and so we know that there's some great links in here. We appreciate that. Really good work. Give yourselves a round of applause. There's really great job, everyone, for all the work that you've done. I can't wait for you to continue learning about these things, because it's such power in knowing how to spot these sort of things online when you're just out there surfing. It makes it better. It makes it better when you can learn to recognize truth and not have to worry about anything like lies or something like that out online. So thanks very much for everybody. A couple things I just want to share with you, and then we'll begin to start wrapping up. As I look at all of these projects, I love the different types of submissions that you made. I love that we saw infographics from Canva. We saw slideshows in PowerPoint or even Publisher. We saw a WhatsApp campaign. We even saw a couple videos. And so I love that you've chosen to just explore the content, the topic, and share it in your own way. And I love that some of you challenged yourself, and some of you really wanted to focus more on the topic and work with a program that you know. Really great, and that's a good way to model that across to all of your other the people at your school or in your life. I want to remind you in some of these, in a lot of the projects that we saw, we want to remind you to try to give your sources where you got your information. To attribute your sources is one of the ways that when we look at things on the internet, we can tell if it's truthful or not. When we read something when we're looking and finding information online, it's great when we can have that lateral reading by clicking on links that take us to the source of that information. And so a few of you added links to where you got that information. It's a great idea. And that way, anybody who wants to learn more can follow that link to learn more about that topic. And it's a good way for us to verify if the information you're sharing is accurate and truthful. And then, as I just pointed out a moment ago on that CIA website, is that be careful of spelling errors and punctuation. When you're sharing information like this online, we want to make sure that you're using correct spelling and correct punctuation, because sometimes incorrect punctuation and incorrect spelling is a flag for us to think that maybe what you're sharing may not be truthful. That may not be what you want to have happen, but that's what happens. Okay, just be thinking about those things in your projects as you share this information with your friends and all that. And then maybe if Kenneth, maybe I kick it over to you. Let's talk about what this looks like moving forward. And what does this? Why did we talk about this project, and what does it look like moving forward after this Digital Clubs is over?
Yeah, perfect. So first of all, you all did such a wonderful job. So I think give yourselves a affirmation. Those are great. And I also want to point out that you all did such a good job on those projects, and we only covered the content. We didn't even go over video production, which Jim is an expert at, or even design, graphic design, which I have an expertise at, and you all still did a wonderful job on all of that. The main thing to share with you all are, kind of as we wrap things up, are a couple of things. Is one, to recognize that for some of us, we're old enough to remember when things like Twitter, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, they didn't exist. And so you had to develop a way of understanding and interpreting information, because the only way you got it was either on television, on the radio, or in the newspaper, and actually even a magazine. And so as more things become available to communicate something to another person, what you all have already covered is going to need to be adaptable. I guess the best way I can describe it is, what you do for something like Facebook or what you do for WhatsApp is probably not going to be the same thing that you would do for television. And as media evolves, you're going to want to just remember, what is the message that I'm receiving? Who's telling me that message? And what are the ways I can confirm that it is reliable, that it is valuable, that it is accurate or telling the truth? And then who might I share it with? And that leads me to a couple of other things. So you all might remember we, in one of the prior workshops, we talked about the community reading experience. In fact, a couple of you had it on your projects, right? You get information, you just share it, you like it, you share it, you like it. What I want to share with you all is an example of the community reading experience that Jim and I had a couple of weeks ago, where community reading experience is actually a good thing. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. I know it's on, you all probably will still have access to it anyway, but I'm going to drop the link in the chat, because what happened was, here in the US, there's this thing called quiet quitting. And I'll explain it to you all in a very short way. The whole idea around quiet quitting is that you don't do anything extra for your job. And people are associating not doing extra with you quitting, even though it makes no sense. Why would you do extra? Why do you have to do extra when you should just do what you are paid to do? But the whole idea around that was, I sent that link to Jim and I said, well, it's probably disinformation, but I'm kind of thinking it's misinformation, because I didn't think they were intending to deceive. But then Jim said to me, nah, dude, that's disinformation. They are catering to a segment of the population that's against public school teachers. And then when I went back and looked at it, I looked at the picture with her smiling. I read the 4 subheaders, then looked at the article again, and I'm like, actually, it does make sense that it is disinformation because it's presented in a way to make you think something isn't the case. So if you look, see how to quiet quit, a former teacher who did it for 2 years, here you go. So she could enjoy a better life while still getting a paycheck. That is disinformation in the title. And then you see, of course, they got to have her smiling because she's taking money from the public and not doing her job. And then you notice those 4, and we'll just stop it. Go back up to the bullet points real quick. Those 3 subheaders. And the main one there is she actually quit in 2020 because the conditions were not sustainable to have a quality of life. This is after she had quote unquote quiet quit for 2 years. And the best part is this. Now she's trying to help others avoid burnout while staying engaged and collecting a paycheck. That is disinformation. What quiet quitting is supposed to be is now she has established boundaries. She won't do anything extra and she's regained a better work-life balance. But they don't say that. They make it look like she's stealing money from the taxpayers by being there and kind of doing her job but not really doing her job. So I share that as an example and a story for you all that even with all of the things we talked about, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, the different lenses, our emotional response, the community reading experience, you all saw the way you presented it can be a negative, but I just gave you an example. It can also be a positive. And one of you had it on your project where you said to, it was one of them was in the video and one of them was one of the graphic where you said, you know, go to reliable sources. Sometimes a reliable source might be the person sitting right next to you. And you do it exactly like what Jim and I did. I said, hey, I'm reading this. This is what I'm thinking. I want to know what you think too. And that's why when he shared with me what he thought of it, we kind of changed it up. So I wish you all the best of luck. Again, you did a wonderful job on your projects. As you all can see, that this is something that is going to be a part of your life pretty much for the rest of your life. But the better you get at seeing those things that we did, the videos that go viral and asking, why is this going viral? Or pictures that something is off in this picture. The more you do that, the more you will start to pick up on things that are deceptive very, very quickly. My last comment is it reminds me of one of books that I've read not too long ago, several years ago, by Malcolm Gladwell called Blink. And the more that you expose yourself to what you learned so far, the more you will be able to determine whether it's dis, or malinformation in a blink.
Yeah, so good. Thank you, Ken. And one of the things that we know from doing this work a lot is that the media will keep changing, will keep adapting. Every time you get smarter, media will change to help continue this process. So becoming media literate is a never-ending process. As the media changes, you need to change. And so one of the things that we do, Ken and I do a lot, is we hold each other accountable. As friends, we work together, but we've been friends longer than we've worked together. The idea is that he'll share something with me and I'll share something with him, and we have a conversation around it to help keep each other alert and smart about because Ken will read something differently than I will, and I will read it differently than Ken. I live in another country, and so we will see things differently, and we help each other to see those things together. It's nice to have a partner in that. It's nice to have friends hold us accountable for that information. Not only holding it accountable for the information that we see online, but also we hold each other accountable for the things we share online. And so it's a great way to experience the internet. It's a great way to experience. Ken and I are the same age, so we are much older than some of you, and we are still on TikTok. We're still on Twitter. We're still on Instagram. We're still doing a lot of those things, and it's we're not nearly as cool as you are, but we are certainly trying to keep up. And as Ken's pointing out in the chat, and we are still learning. We're always learning. So with that, we hope that you continue to learn. We thank you very much for spending the time with us to learn with us. And we can't wait to see more of you and more of the things that you'll do in school and outside of school. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you.
And Jim, can I just take a moment to thank both you and Ken for what's been a terrific first Digital Clubs session for the past program. It's been really engaging, really enlightening. Feels like we could talk for hours more. We've just scratched the surface. I think everyone, if you can join me in thanking Jim and Ken for a great Digital Clubs workshops. And we look forward to hopefully pursuing this further at a later stage. So thank you both.
Yeah, thanks very much. We appreciate you. Thank you.